Kira Halfman from NDTV, and we are live from the St. Olaf Ice Chapel. It is currently 9:45, 20 degrees outside, and still students are showing up by the dozens for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. A Coyle Hall sophomore's simple quest to build an igloo on Notre Dame's North Quad became an opportunity for over 2,000 Tri-Campus members to share a profound religious experience. I sat down with Father Pete McCormick, who preached at the Mass, to learn more.
Here's the takeaway. 2,000 people were at Mass this past Monday night, praising Jesus, giving thanks, supporting one another.
Complete with stained glass and a detailed crucifix, the Ice Chapel quickly gained significant attention from the student body and beyond.
I received an email on Thursday before the Mass, and it was one of those like, hey, crazy idea. That's what it led with. So I thought to myself, well, I'm interested.
Following approval from the Fort Wayne Diocese, everything fell into place for Mass to be celebrated in the chapel. Choir members volunteered their voices. Final details in the chapel were completed. Father Nate Wills, Father Greg Hake, and Father Pete McCormick began planning for a Mass that was nothing short of unexpected, yet entirely welcome. The expectations that were set were far exceeded.
It was beautiful. I mean, 2,000 students. I remember a note being shared at Mass saying that they only planned for 1,600 hosts. I mean, what was it like realizing that you guys had ran out of hosts?
So I was trying my darndest not to run out.
Yeah.
So, you go to the Basilica for Mass and there's like clear lines, like this way, that way. You just kind of get surrounded by a mob of people. But eventually a line did start. And I was looking down in the ciborium and I was looking around thinking, I do not have enough for all the people here. So I started first breaking in half. I started handing out half of the Eucharist to each person. And I thought, this will do it. And then as I continued to see the line just grow and grow and grow, I said, no, half isn't going to work. I'm going to quarters. So then I'm breaking into quarters. And I look at the line, and the line's still long. So at that point, I have probably maybe 15 consecrated hosts left. So I start breaking into quarters, and then where possible, I start breaking even quarters into smaller pieces. At one point, there was a young man who came up, and I had the smallest morsel. And I said, this is really small. And so he put his hand out like this, and I said, body of Christ. And I placed it right there, and he very gently picked it up, put it into his mouth. It was really quite beautiful that God provides in generous ways. And that little small piece of the Eucharist is just as much Jesus as anything bigger.
To close his homily, Father Pete invited the congregation to join him in singing Notre Dame, Our Mother, a tradition that is far too familiar at Notre Dame sporting events, now made its way onto North Quad.
What I love about the Tri-Campus is that we are a group of people who love one another, support one another, show up for one another, and all that's rooted in our faith. And so as people stood there together in the middle of a snow pile, I might add, people were just so beautiful, and it reminded me of like what we're capable of. So often, we talk about kind of what divides us, and the differences that we have, but that moment, for that little precious 75 minutes, we were reminded of what we're capable of. And my great hope, as people dispersed back to their dorms or wherever they were going to lay their head that night, is that we're thinking about how can we replicate that type of community, not only here in the Tri-Campus community, but wherever we go, because it is possible.
More than a single winter evening, the Mass served as a reminder of faith and tradition in the heart of campus. From Notre Dame Television, I'm Kira Halfman.